Throws it up over the top. Works away. Toby Hamilton. 10, 5, 10, Williams open. He takes it. And he buries it. Jalen Williams knocks down a three. And how about the second half shooting from three-point land for Arkansas? Ooh, Pig, they come into LSU and off a win over Missouri, a huge victory for Arkansas as they knock off the Tigers. And Arkansas uses two pitchers, Smith and Holland, to shut down the most productive offense in the league. And the Razorbacks notch a 5-4 win. Put me on through. I gotta send my love down to Baton Rouge.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
And we welcome you into a Fastball Friday edition of the Morning Rush, brought to you by QC Kinetics, as we're live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana this morning, where they love to say Tiger Bay around here. But Arkansas's fared well a time or two in football, basketball, hopefully baseball once again this weekend as the Arkansas Razorbacks take on the LSU Tigers top 10 matchup in Alex Box this weekend. But before we get into any of that, Tommy, apparently, according to Pablo Torre, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, is banned from UNC's football facility. One Belichick family source adds, there is a deep worry for how detrimental Jordan could be for not just North Carolina, but Bill's legacy, reputation, and everything has built over decades. That is via Pablo Torre and Yahoo Sports this morning. Your initial thoughts here on a Fastball Friday. You got to come in hot. You got to come with a fastball and a hot take.
Undefeated and untied.
Undefeated and untied.
Undefeated and untied. If I got to explain it, we'll do that in the third hour. So
I thought it was an Onion article initially, Colton, when I read this, but no, it's real.
The power, the power of the female.
Power of what? Say what? Say what you want to say.
Undefeated and untied. So that's all I'd say. I'd say Bill's not going to be the coach at UNC very long if she's around. So.
Oh, man.
So Saban's got to get over there and talk some sense into him. That's what I'd say. So. I
know there's some crazy Cajun girls down here because I've met them, and they are certifiably nuts, but this girl just seems to the nth degree. There's the hot. So for those that don't know the hot crazy scale, you got the hot scale that goes up here and the crazy scale goes down here. And there's a horizontal line that you don't want to be under, or it's a bad thing. I think she's kind of closer to that, Tommy, if we're being honest. This morning.
That's where we begin here on a Fastball Friday. She'd probably fit right into New Orleans, where you flew into yesterday. Hey, for over 8 years, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical regenerative pain relief. If you've got arthritic pain in your joints, in your knees, your back, your hips, your shoulders that are keeping you from all the things you love to do, people with knee and back pain are now living pain-free thanks to QC Kinetics. What they do is take the healing properties from your own body and strategically and precisely place those in the joints where you hurt the most. And they do it with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime, and you get the pain relief you're looking for. Call our friends at QC Kinetics, 479-999-1234, 999-1234, and be pain-free this summer with QC Kinetics.
So I hate to start out with a little bit of a disappointment this morning to you, but as you can see, I'm in a house, not Louis. We were going to go to Louis after, but I called up there and was not able to get a quote-unquote reservation to do the show. So I apologize for not being out and about like we usually are when we're on location somewhere, but I am going to try that.
So I should have called.
I guess I am going to try that crawfish. What'd you say?
Shrimp and crawfish omelet, you know. They got a variety of omelets there at Louis. You will not make sure you get a cat head biscuit. Don't miss out on that either. So
let's go back to our open just for a sec. Colton put together a great highlight reel of some great victories in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I think about there's a few that stand out to me.
How many baseball ones are in there?
There's not. He had one or two.
I got creative with some of those baseball ones.
Yeah. He had one or two. You won here last time I was here. Back in 2021, I believe, which was fun. This was, I remember K-Dog, Kendall from Russellville, who always wears the glasses, and Bob Walker was out here with some friends, and that was a great That was a great weekend. That LSU team wasn't any good. I think it was the tail end of the Maneri era. And you've had some recent success, recent. You think about last year, we talked about, Tommy, a little bit before the show, what happened against the Tigers last season at Bob Walker Stadium. Now, the last 2 decades haven't necessarily gone your way, but 2007, number 1 team in the country, always stands out to me. What you were able to do in that game, multiple overtimes. Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, but Terrell Richardson picks that ball off at the end of the game. You hear Vern Lundquist say the dream dies for LSU, even though they go on to win the national championship against Ohio State anyway. But I realize fans love winning at Bud Walton, Baum Walker, and in Donald W. Reynolds Raceback Stadium. But let me tell you something. When you are on the road and you win anywhere on this campus, it is about as sweet as it gets when it comes to Arkansas winning a sporting event.
No, anytime you win on the road, and it's going to give you. I think it's a little bit more. When Arkansas went in 2015 to Tennessee, and I was there at Neyland Stadium, they won after trailing 14-0. It just felt a little sweeter, even than a home win like last year when you beat Tennessee. There's just something sweet about going in. All the odds are against you. Everything is nothing's in your favor, and you pull it out anyway. And it's going to take an effort like that this weekend at Alex Box. Already, the weather looks to be against you, as it's looking like baseball tonight's, at best iffy.
Yeah, and it's going to be raining all day here. It looks like, almost to midnight tonight. A couple texts here already on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Death taxes, and y'all know what stays undefeated. JT in Hot Springs, Tommy. Ty's saving you money by doing the broadcast where he's at. They're saying, see, that's how you got to look at it. I'm staying at a friend's house rather than a hotel. We're all about saving money.
Let's just be honest. You had no plan. I brought up Louis yesterday, and you didn't have enough time to pull it all together. Let's just 100%. Be honest about you had no plan. You're down there on a vacation. You're just doing the show. You had no plan for being. You didn't even know about Louis. So let's not act like we had a plan.
I didn't. I'll fully admit that. I don't lie in this show. Never have, never will.
Let's not be giving Ty any credit for saving any money here.
Yeah, that's something we're gonna. I will be spending some money the rest of the weekend. All right, so we got more baseball to talk about.
His money, folks. His money.
My money, unfortunately. Don't get. This is a non-expense weekend. So this
is a play weekend. Even though for the rest of us, we'll be spending it, with our families on Mother's Day.
Well, my gift to my bonus mom is not having to. She doesn't have to suffer through my presence for a weekend. That's my gift. All right, we got plenty more baseball to talk about. Fenceman Friday coming up, but once again, Arkansas softball wins in dramatic fashion, and that's our opening drive.
Swings at the first pitch, up in the air to deep right field. It's gone! Reagan Kramer's second home run of the year is a grand slam of Carlin Pickens. She can't believe it. Her dugout's losing their mind. They're loving every minute of it. Kramer with the dagger.
This is the opening drive.
How about that? So back-to-back days of grand slams for this Arkansas softball team. That home run yesterday was the 600th home run of the Courtney Deifel era. Saw that in the game notes. Thank you, Hunter Corlson, for sending that out. I think when you look at what this softball team has done, again, their first 2 SEC tournament wins since 2022, and now they get Oklahoma, who swept them in Bogle Park earlier this year, and some of those games were blowouts. So you get an opportunity, Tommy, to get a little revenge today and move on to the finals so you win the semis.
I was having a late lunch yesterday at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith, and they had the game on the TVs, and I was meeting with one of our friends at Brothers Roofing yesterday, and that was on. So I got to see it live, and there wasn't a lot of people in there because that's about 1:30, maybe closer to, I don't know what time it was, but it was after traditional lunchtime, and it was amazing the people that were in there were paying attention to it. So softball's gaining some steam. People are noticing. I don't think it's going to siphon a lot off of the baseball interest, but I'm telling you, the fans of that sport, they're diehards, and it's just so exciting to see a team that has all the tools, has the players you need to get to Oklahoma City, and hopefully, as we've talked about, getting there has got to be the minimum goal this year.
Yeah, I was also meeting with one of our partners, Mike Threlkeld with Cedar View IT, and he was like, "All right, we got to finish this because I want to watch the rest of the softball game."
Yeah.
Not 2 minutes later, Mike sends me a text about because I was working on something else, and then he's like, "We just hit another grand slam," so I went back and watched the highlights. So it's pretty
amazing how many people with the streaming that has been softball's one of the sports because of the SEC Network Plus, and I know these games were on SEC Network, but now you've built a fan base that can watch game in, game out because of the streaming TV. Mm-hmm. And that has built a fan base for softball. It's built a fan base for soccer and some of the other sports that before you may not even know the coach's name. Now Courtney Deifel is a household name in Arkansas. So, that's one thing the SEC Network and its ability to put all of the games in front of the fan bases has built a real fan base for a sport like softball.
You mentioned her becoming a household name kind of the state. Here's what she said about the win yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of our team finding a way today. We knew it was going to be a battle with Tennessee and Carlin Pickens, and I felt like our team just did a really good job of staying composed and just getting information every time without losing enthusiasm towards breaking through, which is really hard to do in this game. One reason we could is because Robin and our defense were exceptional today. But I'm just really proud of this group.
You think about the last 2 days, so it's 1-1, and then the walk-off happens from Bree Ellis. Yesterday it's 2-1, and then the grand slam, and it's game over pretty much after that. That was the top of the seventh, so they still had to get them out for the final 3 outs. But both tight games. It's not like they were blowouts or any stretch of the imagination. Arkansas needed those timely hits to get them over the hump. So really cool to see the softball program now getting a chance to take on. Now, the Oklahoma game, guys, is at 3 o'clock later on ESPN2. So another chance to watch it on linear television later on today with this softball team. I mean, what else? It's Friday. A lot of you don't work a full day on Friday, so this is leave a little bit early and watch some softball. Well, you work an excessive amount of hours Sunday through Thursday, so you don't have to work.
I think he's telling on
Friday.
himself. We got a staff meeting at 3:30. What are you talking about? You got a meeting at 3:30.
I'll be sick.
Yeah.
I'll be sick by then.
Yeah, corona flu.
Yeah, that'll be set up down here. They have some.
I've got 20 that says you're not watching softball at 3:30 this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, if it's on I'll just request the LSU bartender to turn on a real softball program and see the reaction from that.
A win today over Oklahoma in the SEC tournament would be a program-defining win. Mm-hmm. And I hope you don't want it to be the highlight of your season, but this could be a program-defining win to beat the gold standard in softball in the SEC tournament in front of a national television audience today for all the people that aren't working that are watching softball. This would be a program-defining win today.
What you think about, guys, think about what they've done already this season. They've still got that insane road record that they just added onto this year. They beat the number 1 team in the country on the road, Florida A&M, and then they beat another top 5 opponent on the road this year.
That's neutral site there, though, right? It's not really a road win in Athens.
No, I'm talking about the earlier this season series wise when they won these road series.
I thought you were talking about yesterday's win.
No. The road series that they've won already this year. They have 2 top 5 road series wins. So again, there's been landmarks that they've had already with this season.
Yeah, beating Oklahoma in the conference tournament would be the biggest win probably the program's had to this point. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a historian of the softball program, but if you beat Oklahoma on a big stage like the SEC tournament, I'll call it a program-defining win. So.
It would be it would be something here. We got more softball to get to. Is Sean in there yet by chance?
He's here.
Okay, perfect. All right, we got our Fitzman Friday picks to get to as well.
All right, that's your opening drive brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custards. That'd be a good way to celebrate a softball win. Load up the kids, take them down to Andy's. Kids, you can get whatever you want tonight. The Hogs win. Hogs win, Hogs win. Andy's Frozen Custards. They've got the pick 6. That'd be the way to go. You can mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors at Andy's. Download the Andy's app and then get your order ready for you as well. And there's discounts and offers in there that you'll find exclusively on the Andy's app. Andy's Frozen Custards, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. 2 locations in Conway, East Oak and Dave Ward Drive, and just off JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. Walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve you at Andy's Frozen Custards.
Who gives a damn about LSU?
Still one of the best quotes that it's been uttered on there's airwaves. And Sean, you're a good guy, you're a good businessman. Even you will service an LSU Tiger fan despite their delusions, right? You'd still help them out if they needed a new fence or repair of some sort.
Well, yeah, especially if they moved up here to Northwest Arkansas or River Valley. So, it's easy to convert somebody from a delusional state to the proper state of a Razorback.
We've got probably more LSU fans than I think any of us realize. Post Katrina, a lot of people moved here and found out what we all know about Arkansas and never moved back. They still have that purple and gold. Hadn't passed a state law against that, but there are a lot of LSU fans amongst us.
There are a lot around here, and they are diehard, just like the Razorback fans. And it's always great to go somewhere and have that rivalry between two people or a group of people at a local venue to enjoy the game. It's just so much more when you can have that.
Yeah, just don't let them come to your house and park in your driveway, or they will leave an oil stain. So that's the thing you got to worry about with LSU fans.
I will give them this: they know how to cook. I've never been down here and not enjoyed food. Sean, what is the best Cajun dish you think that you've had when talking or dealing with an LSU fan of sorts?
Well, everybody always wants to go with the gumbo, but the crawfish etouffee is probably one of my favorite. But a quick little story about that. So, my business partner, father-in-law, has a place down in Grand Isle, Louisiana. We kind of go down there and get to go fishing, right? And so we'd travel.
When are we leaving?
When are we leaving? Let's go right now. We don't work the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
We're half-day workers?
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, we used to travel that way, and we'd get into Louisiana just past Shreveport, and we'd pull over to a little gas station and have this crawfish etouffee pie. And little crusty, kind of like it's a breaded pie that you have. And my father-in-law, Dennis, just thought it was the best thing in the world. So one day he asked him where it comes from, and they go, "It's made in Little Rock, Arkansas." He's never been there since.
Yeah. All right, we better get to it. Our all of our successes from last week and this week's picks in the Fence Man Friday picks.
Auburn plays Tennessee this weekend in Knoxville. Tommy, who takes this one?
Tennessee.
Tennessee's fallen from glory, and they want to come back.
Tommy, you taking Tim Corbin's Commodores, or are you taking the visiting team, the Alabama Crimson Tide?
I'll take the home team at Vanderbilt.
I'm going to take Alabama.
I'm going to take the Doors, and the Doors are going to do 2 out of 3.
Not just next game, but the next 2 games you feel like are not going to be as easy against these Texas Longhorns.
They'll split the next 2.
I think tonight's probably going to go to Texas. Tomorrow, I think they'd win.
Texas has been too strong this year. They're going to take one of the 2.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Yeah, none of us had faith that Arkansas would sweep them against
didn't.
that. Unfortunately, Colton lost count at 105 horns down, so we don't have the exact number of how many
I got
times
that one. I win in the tiebreaker.
You're taking on that. All right, well, let's start with the game today. If there is a game, but we'll start with this. Do we see a baseball game in Alex Box Stadium later on today of any sort?
No.
I'm going to say no.
No, I mean, based on what the weather forecast and what you're telling me, I don't think it. Unless they play, and that's the one thing that we heard yesterday with Blake Ruffino is they don't mind playing late into the night.
Yeah.
Them Cajuns will stay up, they'll drink. So they if this game gets started 10, 11 o'clock tonight, that's a possibility, but I'd say no.
Did y'all just hear that thunder?
Yeah.
I don't know if it came through the mic.
Wow. With enough Crown Royal, they can hang out for a long time.
Yeah. They'll play as long as there's purple bags hanging around.
I haven't watched the weather, so I can't say, but according to you guys, if it's that bad, then
we ain't going to see a game.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they do play, what happens this weekend, Tommy? Between LSU and Arkansas.
LSU wins 2 of 3.
Wow.
I don't know why I feel that way too. I hate that I feel that way. Maybe because you've been blaming me because I'm actually down here. So
That's
maybe
if
I should just leave in the middle of this trip if they lose the first game. So Sean, unfortunately, I'm gonna agree with Tommy on this one.
So if they don't play, that means they'll probably play a doubleheader tomorrow, possibly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. I say the Hogs will probably they won't take the first game, but in the doubleheader, they'll take the second and third, and they'll win the series.
Let's go.
I like
Yeah.
your thinking.
All right.
Yep.
Second game on Saturday. And then
I'm going to tell you, a doubleheader, though, you get on a roll. Win the first game, and it's funny how that momentum carries forward. So You got to in a doubleheader. You want to win the first one because we've often seen that team go ahead and just carry that forward through the second game.
Yep. All right, big game in Knoxville, Tennessee this weekend before Tennessee comes to town in Fayetteville as the Commodores travel to the Lindsey Nelson, the Vols. Tommy, what happens to Tennessee? I know Bruce has been frustrated. They've been reeling a little bit. Do they bounce back this weekend against Vanderbilt?
Yes, Tennessee wins the Volunteer State Series, and their coach hopefully gets to hang around for the whole weekend.
Yes, Tony Vitello does not get ejected, unlike last week against Auburn, and he sticks around and they win the series, Sean, in my opinion, too.
I'm a Vols fan, so yep, go Vols.
All right, another game we'll pick. Let's do the Egg Bowl of baseball. Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Chris Lamona's fired earlier this season. Tommy, does the interim coach have any success against their rival this weekend?
They're going to get hot. They're going to make a run. They're going to get in the tournament. Mississippi State wins 2 of 3.
I've got State winning as well, Sean, in this rivalry.
I'm going to go opposite of you guys just to be opposite.
All right,
Ole Miss.
There we go.
Duty Noble.
Those are our Fence Man Friday picks brought to you by the Fence Man. 782-3936 security fencing's kind of been your main thing. 6-foot fences, they look nice. 8-foot fences work better.
Yeah, it does. It's hard to climb over an 8-foot fence. You got to be an Arkansas athlete to be able to get over an 8-foot fence.
And you can do those in not just wood privacy, not just chain link. You've got a variety of ways you can build that.
Oh yeah, we can do it in iron. We can do it in vinyl. I mean, it's just aluminum. We've actually been quoting a lot of aluminum fencing here lately. It's a lifetime fence. Once you put up aluminum fence, it doesn't go away.
782-3936 or thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. The Hog Update coming up next, live from Baton Rouge.
Rude kicks and deals. He struck him out swinging. This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanAR.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, this is former Razorback pitcher Connor Noland, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Hey, this is Dr. Cole Johnson at River Valley Smile Center. You hear my partner, Dr. Charles Liggett, at 12:15 on halftime every Monday. Dr. Liggett and I have worked at River Valley Smile Center together for 11 years now. Like the Hogs, we have a great team. Do you have a unique dental procedure, a complex dental problem, or are you just nervous about dental work? Come see me for sedation dentistry, implants, implant-supported dentures, as well as cosmetic dentistry. We are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the River Valley Smile Center. Check us out online at rivervalleysmiles.com or call 479-646-0706.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
I have enough trouble deciding what's for lunch. Imagine how stressed I was during the home buying process. Thankfully, Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, took the reins.
That's right, Ty. Buying or selling a home is the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. I have years of experience and proven expertise that help guide you through the process.
All my female friends love my house. I'm not kidding either.
Trust me like Ty did to guide you through every step of the way. Call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. Big decisions, simple solutions.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks. Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those. About 107 down. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, Woo victory. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
When I think about Arkansas, a couple things come to mind. Number one, they recruit better than everybody else in college baseball. Like, hands down, explosive players, talent. To me, they're kind of the standard of that in recruiting. No matter who you end up with, you're always going to be in for a battle because they're always going to be able to match up.
That's LSU. Jay Johnson, head coach of their baseball program, talking about your baseball program, Tommy Kraft. And that's about as high of a compliment that Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs and the rest of that staff, Nate Thompson, Bobby Warnes, could receive when it comes to the players that they bring in, year out.
Well, I mean, I know LSU's history. We've talked about this before. We're going to dig up an old conversation, but LSU's got the national titles and they got the SEC titles. But do you feel like today or the last 5 years that, hey, Arkansas can't beat these guys because their program's just a mile ahead? They're 3-step. I mean, I've never felt like LSU's program or their coaching or their players were always, they just, for whatever reason, have had an edge more often than not. Mm-hmm. And maybe you're saying, well, you're talking out both sides of your mouth here. If they're winning, then they're better. But maybe I'm not making sense here, but I've never felt like they were so far out of reach.
The gap is narrow.
The gap, there's not much gap between Arkansas and, in fact, I would say it's neck and neck. Arkansas just hasn't checked the box of a national title. They've done everything but that.
Yeah, I think Arkansas.
I've never felt like you couldn't go toe-to-toe with these guys.
Yeah, and you have, and I mean, even when LSU, listen, I'd rather have a national championship than beating Paul Skeens twice, but I'm pretty sure if I remember right, you beat Paul Skeens, you beat him in the regular season and you beat him in the SEC tournament. But the gap is like the gap we're talking about. In the 2010s, it didn't go well, like with the exception of like 2011. You didn't win those games. And then since like the start of the 2020s, you've had more wins. And so you're just hoping that trend continues here.
Hadn't kept you out of World Series, hadn't kept you out of the winner's circle. Kept, you hadn't. LSU hadn't been the reason you didn't win a national title. And if you told me that fast forward to late June 18th, 20th, whatever it is, there right in there, Arkansas and LSU are going to play best of three for the national title, would that be a surprise to anyone in Baton Rouge and Fayetteville or anyone listening? No. If I told you these two teams are going to play later this year for all the marbles, no one would be shocked by that.
By the way, Tom,
who gives a damn about LSU?
Where is our friend Gary in Arkadelphia? Why is he not?
I saw him on Facebook the other day. I don't know where. Gary used to be a regular, and Gary, I know he listens because he texts us on occasion and comments. But we need Gary calling back in. We need his knowledge. We need his entertainment.
Arkansas got another commitment in the class of 2026, Missouri City, Texas, offensive line Hugh Smith. It's their 15th in this class, so another addition for this Arkansas football program. Women's softball team advanced past yesterday, past, what am I saying, Tennessee. I almost said Georgia again. Tennessee. So they will take on Oklahoma today at 3 o'clock on ESPN2 for a chance to move to the finals of the SEC tournament. All right, that is your Hog Update here on this Fastball Friday. Hog Update, always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparks.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, so we asked our buddy Sean his favorite food earlier, Cajun country. We're in Cajun country here in Baton Rouge this morning. He said crawfish etouffee. I'm going to take it a step further and say catfish atchafalaya, which is crawfish etouffee on top of fried catfish. My brother introduced it to me a few years back, and I get it every Cajun restaurant I go to. Now, what is your go-to?
Black, other than the gumbo and the jambalaya and the standards, black and red fish etouffee.
Ooh. That's fantastic.
Redfish is, I'd can't go wrong. But I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be somewhere down there near a good old po' boy. Just get you a good shrimp or oyster or some kind of po' boy.
All right, so now we have to ask our friend David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi this same question. David, what is your go-to Cajun dish?
Man, that's hard. Blackened almost anything is solid, but yeah, crawfish etouffee. That's what's that.
You feel like you're kind of eating healthy when it's blackened, right, guys? You kind of right?
Cajun seafood pasta is another staple.
It is.
That is a good.
That's hard to beat. So blackened anything, I'm with you. I'm with you on that, David. Well, it's May. I know we're about halfway through this year, David. You got a lot of new cars, a lot of finance specials going on at Rath Mitsubishi, and you're with your dad at Rath Auto Resources as well.
We do, yeah. We're really leaning in on that. We've got, it's kind of all about $299 right now. So the Outlanders, they got a special interest rate incentive. So those rates are starting as low as 2.99% with approved credit. And then on kind of the other side of the new car thing, I've got new Mirages, which are like a crazy fuel saver, really good economy car. And I've got those marked down with a finance special. Those as low as $299 a month. That's a brand new car for a really, really low payment. So we got some great stuff going kind of all across the spectrum right now.
Well, if you're looking for a new vehicle or you just need your car looked at and fixed, I will highly recommend the Mighty Key Car Care Center at both locations. I always love to stop by. Love that detail, love that attention to detail they give you at both Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. As you heard David say, a wide spectrum with whatever you're looking for at both locations. David, enjoy some black and something this weekend, man. Get you some Cajun food, and we'll chat next week, okay?
That sounds like a plan, dude.
Okay. What kind of po' boy, Tommy?
Oh, shrimp. I'd probably go shrimp. But fried oyster would be pretty good as well. So.
Okay. Shrimp and fried oyster. Yeah. You got it.
Hey, if you're headed down to Baton Rouge, take the Hit That Line Now app with you, fueled by Taco Bell. Try the new Cravings Value Menu. 10 items to choose from, each priced at $3 or less at Taco Bell.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging. This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
You got any Ric Flairs in you?
Woo! That's pretty good right there. This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Mandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day.
I need to sit though.
Finally make a putt. What's the tap in pars?
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at rowback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available.
PN 95.3. Time for the Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
Mother's Day Sunday, we know that. Hopefully you've got your bases covered there. Mom teaches us a lot of things, teach you how to tie your shoes, teach you, how to get dressed in the morning, teach you how to act, how to sit up straight, how to cook, a lot of things. What's the number one thing Mom taught you? And that's what we want some feedback on. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open, 877-377-6963. Mom taught me a lot of good things, Ty, but probably, my enjoyment for cooking began with my mom. I'll never forget, I was probably 9 or 10 years old. She had a back issue, was down in her back, and she wanted some chili. So she was giving me step-by-step directions. I would go to her bedroom, and she'd tell me, all right, now do this. Now, get the hamburger meat out, and go get the frozen onions out, put that in, brown that up. You come back, and then get the Williams seasoning, chili seasoning, put that in there, stir that. All right, now we'll get the beans and the tomato. And that's where I first learned to cook. Is she wanted chili, she couldn't make it, so she taught me step by step from down in her back how to do the chili, and I've enjoyed cooking ever since. So that's one lesson that comes to mind for me.
Mine, she grew up in kind of small town Arkansas, so I would just say that the biggest thing that I think I learned from her, and based on her interactions with all her different friends over the years, is just to treat everyone with respect. I think one of the things I'm always worried about is that I come across as like a tool or like a DB. So I would rather be known as a goober than like a guy that people actually don't have any respect for or anything. So I think
job
with her,
well done.
Thanks. I think that's the biggest thing with her is like I still occasionally will run into friends and they'll give me a story about her, send me an old picture of her. And not that my dad doesn't have all those different attributes as well. That's just when you kind of brought up that question, that would be the biggest thing that I kind of think about dating me back a little bit.
Yeah. Colton, what did Mom teach you? What was the greatest lesson Mom gave you?
Two things. Number one, my mom just kind of always taught me the importance of laughter and making light of things and taking things not as seriously as you should. She has a great big guffaw of a laugh. It is one that captivates everybody, and it's infectious, makes everybody else laugh as well. So always just loved hearing that from her. And so the importance of her not being afraid to laugh at things that she found funny. Whether they were not funny or not, I always appreciated that about her. And then she had this awesome role in my life as being the cheerleader and the coach at the same time. She was a great athlete in her own right. She was always not afraid to get in there and give me some technical pointers and techniques and things like that. And then, I remember getting a concussion one time playing a JV football game, and my trainer was checking me out. But Mom was down there, screaming at me to get my helmet strapped back up because she just wanted me to get back in there. But at the same time, this was the same woman that didn't miss a single one of any of my school plays or song and dance routines that I used to do. She was always there front row, posting it on YouTube and Facebook for everybody. So just the importance of always being there for your child, supporting them and loving them, and then, teaching them the importance of laughing. Gotta love it.
Yeah, laughter is a great medicine, isn't it? So
couple of texts to get to here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. This is a little on the more joking side. B in Clarksville insisted on his mom insisted on washing behind his ears. He makes sure to always do that now. JT in Hot Springs says, I was 10 and my mom taught me the hard way to always use a pot holder or removing food from the oven. I reached in it and touched the casserole just barehanded. Haven't made that mistake since. Clark and Van Buren, I learned from my mom, although she rarely showed it. It was so much stronger than anyone in my family. Quiet strength when needed, loud strength when it demanded it. That's a good one, Clark. That's kind of off the beaten path. Seth in Fort Smith misses mom every day when she taught him to never back down. If I know something is right, even when the rest of the world is telling me it's wrong, never back down. She was the toughest person I ever met. And like I said, I miss her every single day. Eddie says, my mom taught me to do a lot of things, but probably the most important thing, and I still do every day, and I'm 49 years old, is how to wipe my own butt. I love the differences of the text that we're getting here on the Loose Automotive Group hotline. There's some emotional, obviously some that mothers like mine that were no longer with us, but you're still bringing up some emotional stuff, and then there's a text like Eddie in that situation. I do want to, I think, and also this weekend, this is a good weekend to point out. I've got some friends, Tom. I know a lot of us listening have blended families in some way, shape, or form, and it's not always the easiest thing to be brought in with a new mom, a new dad, new sisters, new brothers. But I also have to give my bonus mom a lot of credit because I would not be in school at the U of A and would not have been able to graduate without her convincing my dad to let me stay on, even though I was a dumbass. And she has been as instrumental. I'm lucky in a sense, and it's not like I don't miss my mom every day, I do, but I'm lucky in the sense that I have two great moms that have been so impactful in my life in so many different areas. So I want to make sure she gets her just due this morning as well, because it is well deserved.
Probably the number one gift mom gave all of us at some point in her life, particularly if you're of my age, is keeping our fathers from killing us. So it probably at some point, mom was that shield that talked dad off the ledge. You had done something. I know I did my fair share of it. Mom was the reason we're all alive, and dad's not in prison. That's probably the number one gift mom gave all of us, is the gift, not just the gift of life, like when we were brought into this world, but kept us alive, kept our fathers from killing us and taking us out. That's probably the number one thing most of our mothers have done for us at some point, maybe more than once.
Couple more texts. This is a good question. Tom Earhart, Pass Ocean, Warner Rush, daily question. Stan, one of our team members, says, my mother taught me always to reach a hand to help out someone when you get an opportunity. She said it will do more for you than it will do for them. I think that's a good point. I always want to just be willing to help. Caleb in Painberg texting in out of Searcy this morning. Mom taught me how to cowboy up when times get tough. Always have faith in God, no matter what. That's a good one. Let's see. JT in Hot Springs. In all seriousness, my great grandmother on both sides of my family taught the family to be in church every week, but also to pray every day. I know a lot of moms instill faith in us in some way, shape, or form. So that's definitely a good one. Tom, that's a good question. Not that you haven't had good questions in this past week, but that one's a little more heartfelt this morning.
Yeah, and I always think about you because you lost your mom at 6 years old, and I can't imagine going through. I mean, my dad left us when I was 39. I was lucky to have him that many years. He died way too young, but I've always got a special place in my heart for you because I can't imagine being the age you were, and you're right about your bonus mom, and all the goods that she's brought to your life, and all the having more siblings and all the life lessons. So always think about you. Particularly this weekend in that way. So
I appreciate that. It's not always. It was not always. The ceremonious in the Richardson household.
But listen, traditional families that mom and dad listen, it ain't ceremonious in the Kraft household every day either. So it's just it's just part of growing up. There's going to be fighting. There's going to be fussing. Someone's going to get in trouble. Someone's going to get grounded. Someone's going to get their butt busted. Something's going to get broke. Something's going to cost more money than it should. I mean, it's just But guess what? We all survived, and we all hopefully you just turn out to be a good human being. And without moms, we'd probably all be a bunch of scoundrels,
That's a good point. All right, that is your Car Pass Social Morning Rush daily question. Again, great place that you can hang out for golf. I know it's raining here in Baton Rouge, and I know it's been raining this past week across Arkansas. Taking advantage for corporate and business events. You can take the team out to Car Pass Social, different packages for whether you're big-time golfers or you're just a group that wants to hang out. Don't have to wear golf attire, and you pay for the bay. You don't pay per person. You can practice your game at Car Pass Social. It's one of those things where it's raining outside that you can play there. Or if you just want to get better, you can play on more difficult courses. Always BYOB, 122 Grant Place in Lowell, 479-487-3622. It's cartpathsocial.com. One of the other things I wanted to bring up this morning, because I'm texting him a little bit mid-show. It's not the anniversary necessarily, but Phil's now been doing Arkansas baseball for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Thomas, who does Hog Tunes, sent the picture to me a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I got
Phil's
it too.
You got it too. Phil's a 3-time sports broadcaster of the year. He's again recently elected into the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame in Pennsylvania, which I know was a really, really big honor for him. I know, like, Chuck did just a phenomenal job with Arkansas baseball, and it was at a time where he always talks about the Brady Tubes thing and getting that thing off the ground and where it is now. And that's not an easy thing to replace with Chuck. And Phil has just filled in and killed it. And I just want to give him his credit because, one, he probably hates me doing this right now. Two, he was as gracious to me as a 23-year-old entering a full-time radio show for the first time. And I never felt disrespected. I never felt like he thought it was beneath him to do a show with me at the time. And he's just so good. What I always say about Phil and Bubba is my dad does not like baseball. Like, that's not something to watch. He's not something he grows up with, but he will listen to those two guys, and their chemistry is fantastic. So I just wanted to make sure Phil gets some credit as he's in year 10 of calling Arkansas baseball here for Learfield and across our stations as well.
I sent him that picture. He hadn't seen it yet, and I sent it to him this morning, and we had a few text exchanges. So congratulations on 10 years. I didn't realize it was the 10th season. I mean, time flies by. So. It's pretty amazing. It is a Fastball Friday. We're in Baton Rouge. It's brought to you by QC Kinetics. People with knee and back pain are now living pain-free, without shoulder pain, without elbow pain, pain-free with QC Kinetics. They are the nation's leader in biologic growth factors, which they go in and take the healing properties from your body and strategically place them in the joint where you hurt the most, and they relieve that pain. It's a powerful and potent way give your joints new life and repair that old tissue in there that's just hurting and causing you a lot of discomfort. The patient satisfaction reports, they're astonishing with people from QC Kinetics. Imagine doing, everything you want to do this summer, whether it's golf, whether it's fishing, whether it's hiking, whether it's going to the grandkids' baseball games, do it all pain-free with QC Kinetics. Call them today. They're right here in Northwest Arkansas, 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Phil also got this text from Phil, Tommy. Looks like, in his opinion, they would play this game later on tonight here in Baton Rouge rather than play 2 games tomorrow. We'll wait and see how it plays out, but just be game planning for that if it plays out that way. Hour 2 of the Morning Rush, live from Baton Rouge, is next.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point. catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, Ty Richardson, back in my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown Fort Smith, here with Brooklyn, one of the new gals. Y'all have got a great special on Monday, Brooklyn.
Yes, we have our $3 domestic drafts, our Bud Lights, Miller Lights, Coors Light, Yingling, Shinerbach, Michelob Ultra, some super cold mugs, and 10 wings for $8.95.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
It's all about connections. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center with Shared Beginnings invites you to their Community Connections event on Saturday, May 17th from 10 to 2. Everyone is invited to a fun-filled, action-packed day with vendors, food, car seat demonstrations, mommy makeovers, giveaways, games, and lots of fun. For more information about this event or to participate as a vendor, call 452-2260. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center with Shared Beginnings, the Community Connection event, May 17th.
Attention business owners, are you overpaying for your website, dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95 a month. No hidden fees, no headaches. They write it, build it, launch it, update it, and secure it so you can focus on your business. Ditch the overpriced hassle and go simple. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hotling, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, mostly sunny sky. Our high this afternoon, low to mid-70s. There is a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm across the south. Mainly clear to partly cloudy, mid-40s north, low 50s south. And then Saturday, sunny skies, a high, low to mid-70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to the Morning Rush, only on ESPN 95.3.
I will give you a tie tidbit this morning.
Who gives a damn about LSU?
Here's Flint. Deep, intercepted. Mateo Richardson, Arkansas wins. They can't. Throws it up over the top. Breaks away. Kobe Hamilton. 10, 5, 10. Williams open. He takes it. And he buries it. Jalen Williams knocks down a three. And how about the second half shooting from three-point land for Arkansas? Ooh, big. They come into LSU, and off a win over Missouri, a huge victory from Arkansas as they knock off the Tigers. And Arkansas uses two pitchers, Smith and Holland, to shut down the most productive offense in the league. And the Razorbacks notch a 5-4 win.
Forever wants to put me all through. I gotta send my love down to Baton Rouge.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Tommy, does this bring you back to the Garth concert a couple years back?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, except the wind's not 90 miles an hour, but yeah, you know.
The guy I'm staying with this weekend, he went to the one in Baton Rouge, and he said his ears have never been ringing as loud as they were that night in Death Valley.
Yeah,
it was a
great
show. It was
show
a cool show.
Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in eliminating that pain. If you rolled out of bed this morning, and maybe you had to literally roll out of bed because your back or your shoulder or your knee or something was hurting, and I don't know, maybe you have to sleep a certain way because of shoulder pain, why not get that fixed and live life the way you want to live it this summer with the help of QC Kinetics? They have a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing the old tissue by taking the healing powers in your body and strategically placing those right in the joints where you hurt the most. It's biologic growth factors with QC Kinetics. Imagine doing all the things you want to do this summer and do it pain-free with the help from QC Kinetics. 479-999-1234. 999-1234. Ty, for our friends at QC Kinetics.
So speaking of fastballs, we're going to get a chance to talk with a former LSU Tiger, Chicago Cub Tog Walker, coming up in just a bit at 10:30.
He's been high on the Hogs lately with some of his comments on TV.
Yep, so we'll get a chance to talk with Todd Little on in about 30 minutes, get his thoughts. Another LSU Tiger, Tommy, you mentioned the games being on actual TV, not tonight, but the next 2 days. Ben McDonald is going to be a part of that broadcast, I think with Dave Neal, if I remember that right. But yes, he is. He's talked about this as, I'm paraphrasing, but the most complete team that Dave Van Horn's had, potentially since the national championship. Matt Jones of Whole Hog Sports had a good stat in his column this week, or article, whatever you want to call it. It's talked about how Arkansas, listen to this, Tommy, is the only team that's top 11 nationally in scoring, ERA, and fielding. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like you're not only a top 10 baseball program, but your team is is what they are. They could potentially catch that home run record that they set in 2021, based on the way that they're hitting the baseball. Vahiva Loy has 17 home runs right now. He has a chance to get into that upper echelon of 20, where there's only, I think, like 4 or 5 players that have done that, including one of the most recent ones in Andrew Benintendi. Get that Golden Spikes possibly added to the list. But so there's a lot of things that are at least from the stat standpoint that look like Arkansas is going to be a high national seed heading into this NCAA tournament.
Hey, do you want to spruce up your existing home or start from the ground up? Either way, check with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas first before you get started. Find out why for more than 100 years, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has helped families just like yours make their dream homes come true. Visit myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or visit any of the 25 locations today. Looking here on the Weather Channel app, Ty, and it says that there's pretty much 100% chance of rain through at least the 3 or 4 o'clock hour today in Baton Rouge. And then by the evening, it's about a 25% chance of rain the rest of the night. So I don't know if we're going to get a 6:30 game in. There is a chance you could play later this evening. I know Phil thinks that might be the path. We were talking yesterday that, Johnson doesn't mind playing late into the night, so that might be an option. Could be at 8 or 8:30, 9 o'clock start tonight, but we'll keep an eye on that. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-60s later in the evening. Daytime highs around 70 degrees, but looks like it's going to be a rain-soaked Baton Rouge till at least dinner time tonight.
Yep, and you mentioned Phil. Got a text in here from Greg and Bean on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying, loves Phil's commentating. He paints such a good picture, almost takes you there in your mind. Phil and Bubba are great together. Congrats on 10 years for Mr. Phil Elson.
Yeah, just one more note on the weather. 25% chance of rain on Saturday, about a 30% chance of rain on Sunday. So forecast as far as rain for the whole weekend looks like Saturday, partly sunny and 75 with a 25% chance of rain. So pretty good chance if you couldn't play tonight, you could maybe play 2 tomorrow.
Yeah. You referenced Jay Johnson there. He had some comments about Dave Van Horn. Here's what he said about your head ball coach.
Number 2, and I have a lot of respect for my peers in the league. With him, he's in his own way. He's one of the most competitive coaches that I know, and certainly respect that.
So, again, when you go across the board and you ask different coaches in this league, a lot of them have, again, high praise and high respect for Dave Van Horn. Here's an interesting question I'd like to pose, combined with softball. For those that missed it yesterday, Reagan Krager hit a grand slam, back-to-back days for softball for grand slams.
Swings at the first pitch, up in the air to deep right field. It's gone!
They go on to beat Tennessee 6-1. They'll take on Oklahoma today at 3 o'clock on ESPN2.
Program-defining opportunity.
Yeah. Here's the question for you. If you had to pick one team to go to the College World Series in Omaha or Oklahoma City, you can only pick one. Is it the first time for Courtney Deifel's squad, or is it Dave getting his team back for the first time since 2022? Are you sexist?
No, I want them both to win. I mean, we air the baseball game, so we can say baseball. But don't do that. It's like picking between kids,
Oh, everyone has a favorite kid. That's a lie. I'll have a favorite. If I have multiple kids, I'll have a favorite kid.
Me and you were never the favorite, but I'm. We air the baseball games here, so I'm going to go with baseball.
Baseball. Colton?
Baseball as well.
Okay.
Now, let me change your question.
You sexist.
No, I'm going to change. No, you change your question. Let me change your question.
Okay, reword it, as you often have to do.
Which team has the better chance of winning a national title?
There you go.
The softball team or the baseball team? Both. I mean, both. Right now, softball's number 1 in the country, right? That's still a fact? I believe that's still a fact. Baseball's been there, but they're in, top
they're ranked
5.
number 1 in one. They're ranked number 1 in one poll. I can't remember which one, but they are ranked number 1 in one poll.
Both are amongst the elites in the country.
You got maybe the 2 best players in each sport, in Bree Ellis and Vahiva Loy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of comparison.
Which team has the better chance or is more likely? Maybe that's the better way to phrase it. Which team is more likely to win the national title? The softball team or the baseball team?
Big C texting baseball. here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. I'm going to say I'll have two different answers. just hold on. To my question, not that I don't want Arkansas bad. Don't put words in my mouth, but I would like to see the softball team finally do it. So I'll say softball, but I think baseball is more likely to because Dave Van Horn and them have been there before. That's why. I think that they know what it takes to get over the hump. And Courtney Neifel and her group have not figured out how to yet. And that's played out. You think about was the Texas Super Regional, was that last year or 2 years ago when you're up one game and then they bounce you the next two and they go on to Oklahoma City, if I remember that timeline right? They have not figured out how to yet. Now, again, I would like to see the softball team, not that I don't want the baseball team to make it, but I would like to see the softball team actually do it. Baseball team has shown over the course of since 2003, since Dave's been here, 20-plus years, that they figured it out 7 times. And they've been close, another 7 times? I don't know how many other super regionals they've made it to that haven't. They've gotten bounced, but baseball, I think, is the answer to your question. Let's see. Same thought process here out of the 479, Jay in Fayetteville. Baseball, because they have the Omaha experience, he wouldn't put it past the softball team, though, to make it. Hog Wild from Van Buren says softball. He doesn't have any faith in DVH finishing the job. I don't think a lot of people feel that way, Hog Wild, about your last statement, but I do think that a lot of people do feel differently about this year's softball team based on what it had. Because I think when I referenced the Matt Jones top 11 stat, fielding, hitting, ERA, softball has struggled at times at hitting in years past under Courtney Neifel. This team doesn't have that issue. They're really, really good at pitching, really good at, I couldn't tell you as much about their fielding, but those two areas, they're very complementary of each other. So maybe this is the year. Wouldn't it be just great to have both of them do it? I mean, I know that's asking a lot in one calendar year, but that sure would be great on that standpoint.
You want the double dip, huh?
Yeah, the double dip.
I like your greediness.
If they could in that setup and everything else, but
you talk about putting some pressure, or does it really? If softball did find that magic level and went to Oklahoma City and won the whole thing, does that put more or less pressure on the baseball team to do the same thing? Because that obviously would finish up before the College World Series would finish up in Omaha. So, and we're putting the cart a mile or two in front of the horse here, but. Hey, isn't it cool to have both these sports in a? I mean, we're not often, the loony bin over here. It's a reality that either one could win the national title.
Yeah,
I mean they will, but they have a legitimate chance.
Chandler and Van Buren adds in softball is the number one in the SEC in fielding as well. So apparently they have a really good collective. I just didn't have that stat in front of me, to be honest, Chandler. They have collectively a really good unit across the board as well. What do you think? 877-377-6963. Again, that's 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Tommy, I do have some news for you. I don't know if you saw this concerning the Ryder Cup. But the People's Perk, you heard about the People's Perk?
Tell me about it.
All right, so the PGA of America is giving away tickets randomly to New York residents who are playing public courses in the Long Island and New York City metro area. So all you have to do is just pose as a New York resident, play golf there for the next 3 or 4 months, and see if you can swindle someone out of a free Ryder Cup, which apparently is valued at $750 per ticket.
Bethpage Black, right? That's where they're going to play.
Yeah, just skip a reffing weekend and go up to New York and watch some golf for a weekend. That would be epic.
It'd be cheaper just to buy the ticket than to hang out in New York for a few days.
For a few days, few months, few weeks, $750. I would say that is the and I had the Waste Management was one of the greatest sporting experiences I've ever been a part of. But that, there's something about cheering for your country. The Olympics is intriguing to me. I don't know if it's I have to go see it, but the Ryder Cup is one of those events, Tommy, that man, just to when you remember, and I don't like Patrick Reed, but you remember when Rory McIlroy hit that putt and then started he started ticking off the United States crowd, and then Patrick Reed comes back and hits a long putt just like him and then does the finger wag to him. That to me is awesome. I like the competition between Americans and Europeans in that event.
Yeah, I mean that's a bucket list event for me. I I couldn't decide. And I'd go to any of them, but whether it was over here in the States or in Europe, it'd be cool to go to Europe and have the time and the money to, do it right. When it was in Rome that would have been really cool. But
you want to go to Italy?
Yeah, Italy. Yeah, I mean, because you're right there. How cool would it have been to be in Italy this past week and near the Vatican with all the announcement of the new Pope? I mean, historical moment to be there. But anyway, point being, I'd love a Ryder Cup, and it always falls during football. So, one of these every other years, we're going to have to find a way to shake loose and go to a Ryder Cup.
Need to. Couple texts more.
That's a bucket list event. I hear it's not as fan friendly as you'd think because you only got so many groups. So it's really stacked in there tight because you got about the same number of people for a normal event, all on a course where everybody's playing on about 4 or 5 holes. So kind of a tough event to watch from a spectator standpoint.
That makes sense. A couple more texts on the question you asked, Tommy. Quinn from Viola. Where's Viola, Arkansas?
Viola is up to east of Mountain Home. You go to Viola, like if I'm cutting through from Lake Norfolk, the Norfolk area, going over to Melbourne, Viola, you'd get up there and take a left and go to Viola. So east of Mountain Home, probably the best way to describe it.
Fulton County.
Which county?
Fulton County.
Fulton, okay.
Fulton County, okay.
What's their mascot? I don't know. Viola Eagles? Is that right? No, that's Valonia.
Yeah, that's Valonia. Quinn texting the mascot as well. Texting in on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying softball's ready, Brielle's for president. Chris in Paris says softball because his cousin of his is on the team. And then Andy in Mountain Home adds in Sam Pittman would love for both teams to win a national championship. Well, Sam Pittman likes going to the softball games. He's been there, so I would guess that, he would, and he has a respect and appreciation for Dave Van Horn. So, yes, I do think, Andy, he would like that if it played out like that. Be pretty cool to do it in the same year.
The Longhorns? They're the Longhorns? Mm-hmm. The Viola Longhorns.
Oh, that's gross.
Is that allowed by state law?
And they're spitting distance from Missouri, too. It's just a weird place.
Let's see.
It's right up there.
Doug in Mountain Home saying, I was born and raised and went to school and graduated Viola. And, yes, it is the Viola Longhorns. That's I'm not going to say I'd be ashamed to go to school there, but I'd be ashamed to go to school there if my mascot was Longhorns. I'm kidding, Doug. Of course, that's a joke, Quentin. But, yeah, you guys need to figure out, go to the city board or do whatever you got to do to get that changed.
Well, that's it's probably one of the most unique mascots in Arkansas.
Hey, notable alumni here on the Wikipedia page. Preacher Rowe, former MLB player, graduated from Valonia High School. Played for the Cardinals, Pirates, and the Dodgers.
Okay. Valonia or Viola?
No, Viola, excuse me. Viola,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. And they're burnt orange, too, apparently, according to Caleb and Payne.
Man.
Well, that's bad.
Hope they fired that superintendent that allowed that in.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
And but no, hey, now I want to go to Viola. I want to check that out. So, hey, if you're looking for a great way to find your favorite lures from Pradco, LureNet.com has everything you're looking for, including the Bobby Garland Baby Shad and the original Baby Shad. It's the #1 selling bait, featured a sleek back, streamlined belly, quivering tail. The bait won't stop moving, and no matter the temps, no matter the conditions, it's built for dead sticking and action-based techniques. Find the Bobby Garland Baby Shad at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and your favorite tackle stores. The leader in crappie fishing innovation, the Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
All right, so before we go to break, I know people are wondering, hey, what's the timeline of what it looks like tonight? Are they playing tonight or playing tomorrow? I just got a text here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline from my buddy who's a cop down here. And he said, Ty, I've worked several games this year, and several of them have started after 9:30 p.m. based on what Tommy was doing with the weather earlier, talking about it. That could end up happening. He said one ended at 1:44 in the morning. Phil feels like, other LSU fans I've talked to this morning think it's going to be played tonight. So if you're making plans for the games, looks like at least for past precedent, you're probably going to have a game later on into the night.
So if they run out of Crown Royal at 8:30, are they going to still play at 9? If they're out of Crown Royal, I'm going to guess that the game is off.
We'll see. We'll ask Todd Walker. That he joins us in about 15 minutes from now. You're welcome to jump in here as well. It's a Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics. We got your SEC update when we return on the Morning Rush.
Root kicks and deals. He struck him out swinging. This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain. Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Gentlemen, I do pipeline inspections, so I'm actually calling from California. Great show, by the way.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Ty Richardson for Eastside Liquor, your number one stop for the Hogs Run to Omaha. Every watch party, every event, they can take care of you at Eastside Liquor. Need your favorite beer or seltzer for the Hog Pen? They've got it all at Eastside Liquor. Stop by and see Dave and his team at 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Did I mention it's lake season 2? Regardless of the lake that you spend your summer, the only place you gotta stop before is Eastside Liquor.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hogs have finally climbed the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
DiVincenzo offensive board. Edwards got it. DiVincenzo's third offensive rebound already, and the last two have led to Wolves threes, and that's Anthony Edwards' first half bucket of this series. DiVincenzo the deflection. Here comes Alexander Walker. He lays it in. So the bench mob has come in, made an impact.
So Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, former Georgia Bulldog, win last night as they defeat the Golden State Warriors 117-93. Edwards has 20 points off 6-13 shooting. They have evened up that series. Plenty of more action here in the next couple days. Thunder back in action. Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams. By the way, Isaiah, Tommy, I don't know if you watched him the other night. He was 5 of 5, knocked down 4 threes. Dude was on a heater. Jalen
Not
also
just him. That whole time, I watched that second quarter, and there was no need to watch the second half. They set the record for points and a half. What was it, 87 points in the first half? It was, it was 35-point game or whatever. Then it was over. So
Cal was in attendance. Cal was in attendance, taking it in.
Yeah, so it was. You think of damn near 90 points in the first half of that game. I think that sent a message to the Nuggets that. Game one's not going to be the way this thing's going. So good turnaround for the Thunder the other night.
Back to where we need. That series tied at 1-1, 9 o'clock on ESPN back in Denver, and then Cleveland and Indiana will take on each other as that's at 6:30 on ESPN. Pacers up 2-0 in that series back in Bankers Life Fieldhouse. I think is what it is for that series. All right, so plenty of SEC players in both those games tonight. SEC baseball-wise, Vanderbilt goes to Knoxville. Georgia takes on Alabama. That'll be a really good series in Tuscaloosa. South Carolina against Auburn. Missouri against Texas A&M. Arkansas, of course, here in Baton Rouge, where I am, against the Tigers. Oklahoma against Kentucky. Ole Miss against Mississippi State. Florida at Texas. Tommy, does Arkansas, LSU, Tennessee, does anyone catch Texas, or does Texas win the outright regular season title here in the conference?
Oh, Texas wins it. I mean, last weekend they ran into a buzzsaw. Razorbacks were just played their best, pitched, hit. I mean, give the Razorbacks credit for what happened last weekend. Texas will get healthy. Texas hasn't forgotten how to play ball. They're going to win the SEC regular season championship.
All right, well, that is your SEC update here this morning.
And it's brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. They've opened a second location in Salisal right across from the courthouse. They're in Sequoyah County to take care of folks in Sequoyah and LaFleur and surrounding areas. If you're in Roland, if you're in Muldrow, if you're in Salisal, if you're in Spiro, Podo, Vian, and any point in between or near there, Jackie's there to take care of you. Of course, still taking care of all of her friends and clients in the Fort Smith area as well. Also, if you're in Van Buren, Crawford County, heading over to the Salisal office might be just as convenient for you. So 13 years of experience in wrecks, slip and falls, dealing with insurance companies, family law matters. Jackie's got a lot of specialties to help you. Plus, they understand that big retainers and big monthly fees and all that doesn't work for everybody. That's why they offer flat fees that are easy to understand, low down payments, and payment plans that will work for you. Go to mocklegalsolutions.com. That's mocklegalsolutions.com or call 479-769-1505.
By the way, did either of you guys catch Paul Pierce walking into work?
It was a dangerous walk. It was. And when I was going through the mountains, there wasn't no sidewalks. It was a dangerous walk.
You didn't go through any LA territory where you had to deal with some street stuff.
Hey, look, I know the landscape. So
I don't know if you caught this clip. Former Kansas Jayhawk and Boston Celtic, played a couple of the other teams, made a bet that the Celtics wouldn't lose Game 2 against Colton's Knicks. Well, they lost, and he said, "Well, I'll walk into work in my robe and my slippers." He actually did that. Which is kind of entertaining this morning. I know we've all shot off our mouth before about how confident we feel about the Arkansas Razorbacks a time or two. Sometimes it doesn't pan out, and evidently it didn't pan out for Mr. Pierce when it came to his beloved Boston Celtics.
Glad we don't do that around here. So
no.
All right, so you can get the Oaklawn Sports app, NBA for the weekend, of course, college baseball and the Razorbacks and LSU, all there on the Oaklawn Sports app. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Just make your first deposit. You're automatically enrolled. Nothing, no hoops to jump through, no boxes to check, and you'll receive a second chance on your first bet each of your first 10 days up to $100 per day. Plus, check out the 10% profit boost on new and existing customers on 3-leg parlays with at least plus 1,000 odds. They'll up that by 10% to plus 1,100 or whatever number you're at. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with a brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Tommy, speaking of horse racing in Oaklawn, Sovereignty's not running in the Preakness. Do you see that?
That's been, I won't say a growing trend, but the health of the horse and the long term. I mean, Triple Crowns are great, but they're elusive, and but the long term health of the horse, and then you don't want to finish third or fourth or have a fading start. So probably something with the health of the horse and how the trainer feels. Why they've made that decision. Being Kentucky Derby champions enough to make your syndicate rights down the road, worth millions and millions more. So don't need any injury.
We got a few texts in on the Paul Pierce thing, Tommy. A guy from Harrison. I will never shout my mouth about being confident about the Razorbacks. I think he says, let's see, unfortunate life of being a Razorback fan. Andy Mountain Home wants to know if Brian in Ozark is paid up. No, he's not, Andy. Unfortunately, I still am out $100 on that bet. He's better than Mad Dog Russo, Tommy. Gavin says that Mad Dog Russo says all this wild stuff and never backs it up.
He was going to quit. He was going to retire if, what was it, Arizona won a game? Was it I think it was the Suns. If they won a game in a series, I can't remember the details.
He was the Diamondbacks. He said
the Diamondback. Okay.
Then he said he'd wear a bikini, and he didn't do that either.
Well, you asked a good question earlier in hour number one about our moms and what they instilled in us and taught with us. Another element that both my mom and my bonus mom, it's just be a man of your word. So we as the Kraft and Richardson heritage have followed in our parents' footsteps and our mom's footsteps and been a man of our word. If we say something on this, I had to pay this Texas A&M fan when Cam Little missed that field goal. Like it was the most painful Venmo I've ever seen, but I did it. It just pay up on your bets, y'all. That's the wound still. As you can tell, the wound still hurts.
All right, Todd Walker coming up. We'll talk some more baseball in Arkansas and LSU. That's on the way. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. Happy Mother's Day from everyone at Gaston's. They got a full weekend coming up with some delicious food. Maybe Saturday night's your night. Call Gaston's now. Get a table with a great view of the White River. 870-431-5202. It's one of the premier places for fine dining in north central Arkansas. So, if you're within a reasonable drive, Gaston's would be a great Saturday road trip for mom to enjoy maybe a lunch or a dinner this weekend at Gaston's. Also, check out their cabins and lodges. If you've just never been there, it's worth the drive to see the place. You don't have to be staying to stop in to have a bite to eat. Get one of their guided fishing trips, or maybe just book a trip for later on this summer. Check out their gift shop. It's got a lot of Gaston's merch in there that you can get a hoodie or a hat or a T-shirt. I've got some of the long sleeve fishing shirts that keep you out of the sun when you're out fishing or doing anything else. Got the Gaston's logo on it. They can do that. It'd make a great gift for mom as well. Some Gaston's apparel. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. First class time every time.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging. This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're smarter than me. Where's the disconnect?
What was that? I had my headphones cut out. What?
Delete the sour corn.
This is the Morning Rush Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day.
I need to sit though.
Finally make a putt. What's the tap in force?
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at rowback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie.
You can take with you wherever you are, whether you're in Baton Rouge or out of the country. Tommy, it's there for us here at ESPN Arkansas. And listen to whether it's our local shows or Razorbacks as well.
And it's brought to you by Taco Bell. Try the Cravings menu with 10 items to choose from, priced at $3 or less. It's all there, powered by Taco Bell, the Hit That Line Now app. We have had several storms recently, some high winds, some isolated hail, and different things. If it's caused you a roof problem, call our friends at Brothers Roofing. Brother Alexander, he was on my mom's roof earlier this week, late last week, somewhere. She's had some wind damage that's caused a leak and a stain in her kitchen. We can't have that, so we got to get brother out there and go to put a new roof on. They're working with the insurance company. They've got software that can go back and see when exactly the hailstorm came through your neighborhood and precisely pinpoint that, and then evaluate that damage through software, and then just an inspection. And what they like to do is get on the roof with the adjuster and go through it, square by square, to make sure that they maximize your benefits and not let the insurance company be the only one to take an assessment of your roof. 479-353-3877 is Brothers' number. 353-3877 for Brothers Roofing, Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, Hot Springs, wherever you're at, call Brothers Roofing, 479-353-3877.
Of the ninth. No indication yet that they will walk Todd Walker. The winner goes to the national championship game tomorrow. Breaking ball. First baseman, it's over. LSU wins it 6-5 with 3 in the bottom of the ninth. Holy cow.
I think DBH would tell you this is the best chance they have to win this whole thing, especially since 2018 when they had that great team that year too, made it all the way to the finals. The starting pitching is ridiculously good, and the list goes on. This bullpen's ridiculously good. The offense is best in the country, and they play good defense. So Arkansas is the complete package this year. They have a real shot.
Now joining us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline is LSU All-American, College Baseball Hall of Famer, top 10 pick in the 94 draft, Mr. Todd Walker. Todd, that was, of course, your voice just talking about this baseball team. Top 11 in fielding, hitting, ERA. What makes this team? What comparisons do you draw to that team you referenced in 2018 with this year's ball club?
Well, first of all, you said top 11. That's in the country. I think it's almost more powerful to say you're best in the SEC because we all know this is the best conference in college baseball. Arkansas's top 3 in all 3 major categories, 2 in defense, 1 in offense, 3 as a staff. It just shows you the complete package that you guys have in Arkansas this year. Dave Van Horn was his 23rd year, just the experience that he has. And, it was never better played out than we talked to Dave Van Horn before the Texas series. Second, you have Texas, LSU, and Tennessee, the last 9 games of the year. And he didn't blink. He said, you know what? First of all, we can compete against these guys. And if we come out of this alive, we're by far the best team. Or he didn't say it that way. He just said, we are battle tested and we have the best, chance to win this thing because of that, And so I tend to agree. I think how they swept Texas. They go to LSU. It's going to be a big test. The biggest thing for me is the home field advantage, right? So last year when LSU went to Fayetteville, Arkansas swept LSU. 2 years ago when they were in Baton Rouge, LSU won 2 of 3. So the home field advantage, as we all know, between these two teams is massive. Like Arkansas has lost, 3 games at home all year? They're 30-3. And then LSU 10-2 at home in the SEC within the conference. So that's the biggest deal. But to your question, see, they had a great team in 2021, Arkansas, right? But you can't really reference that because they didn't even make Omaha. They won the first game against NC State 22-4, whatever it was, and then lost the next 2 games, didn't get out of the Super. So that's why I said 2018, they make the run all the way to the final. But they're just a complete package this year. If you really start breaking it down, they're better offensively. As a staff, I think, they had Tops and Wicklander back in 2021. And then that staff they had in 18 with Blaine Knight, Casey Murphy, and Isaiah Campbell. Those are 3 legitimate starters. I just feel like they're better set up on the mound, which to me, baseball is all pitching first. And the addition of Gage Wood, as we just saw, ridiculously good. And I keep using that term. I guess it fits. They're really, really good on the mound. So I just think they're complete, man. Now, at the end, when you only lose 2 games and you're out, that's the great equalizer. But I think Arkansas has as good a chance as anybody this year.
Todd, you mentioned being really good. You were a really great hitter in your own right in college and the MLB as well. Viva Loy has gone on a tear. He could be Arkansas's 3rd Golden Spikes Award winner. What have you noticed from last year to this year, maybe the changes, maybe the difference that we've seen in Arkansas shortstop?
The main thing is zone discipline. So when you know what a ball is and what a strike is, then all of a sudden you start laying off those close pitches. And as a hitter, The only way you're going to do that is you take your ego out of it. So as Vahiva Aloy and a lot of these, Garrett Jones from LSU, a lot of these power hitters, they don't want to get beat with a fastball. So they're like, I'm getting the barrel out on the fastball. Well, the problem is these pitchers aren't going to throw them too many of those, especially in hitters' counts. And so you get this off speed. And in this day and age, 3-2 counts are not necessarily fastball counts either. Like Vahiva Aloy's at the plate, especially with first base open, 3-2, he's getting off speed. And so it takes away your aggressiveness as a hitter. So I think that he's got more zone discipline, which means he's cutting down on his strikeouts. He plays a prime position at shortstop. So that, when he transferred over to Arkansas, kind of had to get used to all that stuff. But I think now he's comfortable playing that prime shortstop position, and then also at the plate with the ability to swing at strikes. And it sounds easy enough, swing at strikes and take the balls, but he's doing a better job of that this year.
Todd Walker, SEC Network, with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Todd, with the addition of Texas and OU, Wes Johnson coaching at Georgia, this league feels deeper than it's ever been before. How many teams make the field of 64? Because I think there's only about 2 you can completely eliminate right now, and that's South Carolina and Missouri. Beyond that, is everyone still alive, in your opinion?
Yes. Out of Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Florida, who all three, by the way, are great teams that got off to bad starts, and then Kentucky, who I actually have Saturday against Oklahoma. Kentucky's lost 8 games in the SEC by 2 runs or less. So Kentucky, even though they're 10-14, they've got a solid group as well. 4 teams, Kentucky, Florida, A&M, and State. I think at least 2 make it in, which gives you, 12? But it's 13. 13 schools. I think in reality, and by the way, it's important to note, RPI and ranking matter, right? That's what gets teams in the field of 64, but ultimately it's the selection committee. So it's a human element involved in picking these teams, and it's much more difficult for them to pick 13 teams out of a conference than it is to pick less. We had a record 11 last year. Of course, that's what's without Texas and Oklahoma in the league. To answer your question, I think we get 12 in for sure, and maybe 13 depending on how this plays out. But, I don't even want to name them, but the top 10 are definitely in. And then you got Kentucky, Florida, A&M, and State that are fighting for those last 2 or 3 spots.
I've been of the opinion for a few weeks that if you're a top 4 seed and you get that bye to Thursday or Friday, that will automatically stamp you as a top 8 national seed and host throughout. Is that a safe opinion? Is that a correct opinion? And how many top 8 national seeds do you think we see out of the SEC?
They're predicting 6, but that's why I mentioned the human element. It's just so hard, if you can imagine, for these guys to sit around and say, all right, let's just bless the SEC with 6 host sites within the conference. Now, the good thing about that is if Fayetteville, if Arkansas, which they will, host a super regional, the money that factors in and the excitement, and that's what they want, right? They want fans to see all that. And so Arkansas provides that. Baton Rouge provides that. A lot of these places that you can imagine as a committee, they love. So that speaks against what I was about to say, but they still want parity within the country. They still want some variety. So I don't know if 6 of the 8 become national seeds, but I do think your thing's right. So when you get the double bye in the SEC tournament in a couple weeks as a top 4 seed, all 4 of those will be top 8 national seeds. I think that's a safe bet.
And that's what makes these series like this weekend. Last weekend with Texas, LSU for the Razorbacks, Tennessee next weekend, and makes the scoreboard watching a lot of fun because these are games and series of real consequence.
When you talk about 13 teams out of the 16 making the field of 64, which is incredible to think about, 7 of the 16 right now still have a chance to be top 8 national seeds, which means you got to win your regional, you host a regional, and then you host a super regional. Texas, Arkansas, LSU, Tennessee, Georgia, by the way, number 1 RPI or number 2, somewhere like that. They're sneaking in. Vanderbilt, top 3 RPI or 4 or 5. Auburn really has a real shot to host a super, believe it or not. So Vandy and Auburn, who we've kind of left for dead, still have a real shot to host not only a regional but a super. So I still think there's 7 teams with a real chance to host supers. So you're right. Like, these games are being played out that way. Oklahoma, I don't think, is going to host a super, but they're playing to host a regional. Kentucky's just playing to try to get in, for example. So there's a lot to play for these last 2 weekends.
We're talking with Todd Walker this morning on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, LSU All-American, ESPN, SEC Network, college baseball. analyst. Todd, I maintain that LSU has the best baseball job in the country. Johnson, Maneri, Bertman. I mean, there's championships over several decades of coaches. I know Arkansas doesn't have that national championship, and I know Dave's still trying to get it. Where does the Arkansas baseball job rank in the pecking order of not just this league but the sport?
Well, I think it's a very valued job, but I think you could say that about at least half the schools in the SEC. Arkansas, since the start of the 2017, I love this stat. The Arkansas Razorbacks, since the start of the 2017 season, has won more games than anybody in Division I baseball.
Wow.
And that's a lot to do with Dave Van Horn. And Dave Van Horn took Nebraska to Omaha twice in the early 2000s. I mean, we haven't seen much of Nebraska, since he left. So it just shows you, and what I said earlier, just about his demeanor, and everybody wanted to call what Arkansas was going through as a skid. I think they had lost 3 series in a row before they swept Texas. He said, "Look, it's baseball. It's what happens." And players take on the personality of the coach. If you see the coach panicking, well, then the rest of the group's going to panic. But his demeanor's just perfect for that program. And I look at Arkansas fans as New York Yankee fans. Very knowledgeable, very passionate. Will let you know when you make a mistake. And in some cases a little far-fetched and ridiculous, but man, and you guys laugh because but that's the way they are. And, I, as a player, wouldn't have it any other way because they're going to remember you forever. And especially if they championship this year, which again, it's going to be fun to watch because, they don't let you breathe, right? So 1 through 9, there's not a week out. We know if Logan Maxwell's coming back this weekend. I don't know that, but he's a big part of that offense. But 1 through 9, there's no weak outs. Defense is great. We saw what Root did last week to Texas. I mean, struck out 11. Gage Wood had the 12 outs he pitched. He struck out 9. And then when you stack Wood and Gackle in the same game, that's difficult. And then Sunday with Beidelshees and the rest of the bullpen. I mean, baseball, but I just have a hard time seeing anybody beating them before Omaha. And then at that point, it's just who's playing well.
Well, this is a guy, Tommy, that obviously knows his baseball, but let's ask him about food. So, Todd, I'm here in Baton Rouge this morning. I've been instructed by my co-host to go to Louis. Do you have a recommendation on not just something there, and Phil's and Chimes are also on the list. Anywhere else
I've been to Chimes,
in the area or at Louis that you would recommend as a Louisiana guy?
I can tell you what's good. You can go with anything you like. I mean, to me, when I go to restaurants, I do something different every time. My personal favorite is TJ Ribs. They're in Baton Rouge, off of Acadiana. That's so good. But you can't go wrong with food in the South. You know that. So I don't have a particular favorite in any of those spots, but they are some of my favorite restaurants. I mean, they're all good for different reasons. But, man, you can definitely gain a lot of weight. That was hard to play in Baton Rouge because you're always eating.
Yeah.
And so I had to, luckily I was 20 years old at the time, so my metabolism was a little better than it is now.
Yeah.
Tommy, Todd won a national championship in '93 despite the food that he was intaking every single day.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. If you're on a low-carb, no-butter diet, you're in trouble down there. So.
Yeah. Todd,
That's right.
Good stuff this morning, man. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see if your predictions come correct and see if this team gets through the next couple weekends and ends up in the Emerald City of Omaha, Nebraska.
Big one this weekend to see what Arkansas is made of. They're on the road. That's a tough challenge for them. But LSU's, we know, they're top 8 national seed, too. So this is a matchup you're going to see in Omaha. Pretty good.
Goliath versus Goliath. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Todd, thanks. Have a great weekend.
All right. All right, you too.
All right, Todd Walker, SEC Network, with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We're brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group, your number one source for top-quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. Whether it's a residential job or a big, large-scale commercial job, APAC has you covered. And they also have the expert advice you need with their construction consultant services to keep your job on track. 479-587-3300. For all your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs, it's APAC and Standard Materials Group, 587-3300.
Our friend Phil Elson just texted me here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline a picture of charcoal oysters. So I think that's something else we're going to have to take in this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, today back in 1899, the U.S. Patent Office issued patent 600,224,749 to John Albert Burr for his invention of the rotary blade lawnmower. So all you lawnmower fans out there, this was invented way back in 1899, patent and everything else. So take that.
Made life a lot easier, didn't it? That was a luxury item
can't
in
imagine.
1900. That was a luxury item.
Can you imagine having
gas-powered lawnmower? Wow. Yeah. Hey, it's been a Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics. 479-999-1234 is their number. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful way and a potent way to give your joints new life, repairing old tissue with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Phil Ellison, Matt Jones, halftime coming your way next.
And Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel